So, although I'm out in a rural area, all kinds of sounds going on. I just popped outside to water Tulsi. I'm in Florida at the homestead with my husband, and it's a very hot day. So I give extra attention to Tulsi when it's hot at this time of the season, and she gets watered quite regularly. So I wanted to share a little bit about what's going on here. It's a pretty average day for us, I would say. I'm just prepping for some juicing. I'm gonna put the video on pause for a moment, and then I will show you what I have prepped for today. Every day is different. Depends what's available and what has a priority to be used, and how much time and energy there is to do that. So somebody's using a chainsaw. And starting a vehicle. So, you can live on, like we have 5.5 acres here, but you'll still get the sounds from all around. Sound travels. And one does wish that it would be possible to have peace and quiet. But even when there aren't the sounds of the mechanics going on, or the gunshots going off from people doing their gun practice, or the trucks going by, or motorcycles, there's also the sounds of the birds. Sometimes the birds are happy and chirpy, and there's the nice singing birds, and other times there's the crows. Caw, caw, caw. They caw away in the sky. So it's pretty much a crapshoot. When I pop outside to film, we get what we get. So I'm going to pause for just a moment, and then I shall show you the vegetables for today. It's quite glorious. It's worthy of sharing. Very important process, this juicing that I do at home for my husband and I. It's for the better part of the last, I would say the last 16 months, I've been focusing on juicing as much as possible on a daily basis. And we took advantage of the summer season here and grew a lot of watermelons, and also bought a lot of watermelons, and just drank heaps and heaps of watermelon maha juice. And it's a fabulous way to hydrate. So looks like the watermelon season is almost over, and that's so sad. But what to do? We're still into the grape season for our grapevines, making grape juice and persimmons. We'll have lots of nice raw persimmon monomeals, and we've got the sugarcane juice that I have a small sugarcane juicer that's enough for me to do, like, let's say, half a gallon a day, and not large scale, but enough for our use in the kitchen on a daily basis. Keep us going in the juice. And we're busy planting. More cucumbers have been in the ground, more watermelons, and we're getting the beets in the ground, other greens. So a lot to look forward to in so far as that is concerned. And of course the stores do supply us with the apples and carrots that I'm able to go pick up that are organic and other such things. So I'll be back in just a moment, okay? You can hear the sprinkler going as well, of course. We have lots of gardenia plants that are actually even flowering now, and they do need water. And the rose bushes here, they need water too. So we have the sprinkler system that has... Well, it's not so. It's quite soothing to hear the sound of that. It's not so bad. Okay, see you in a moment. Okay, there's an airport that's about 30 minutes away from here by driving, and there's a lot of military activity, a lot of helicopters going back and forth, so one just passed by. Hopefully we get a little reprieve so I can film this. So I'm out here on the deck. Like I say, I'm in Florida at the homestead with my husband, and it is August 23rd, 2023. And here is what I've prepared to make juice with right now. I'm going to give you a glance at that. So, what do we have here? We have some lemons from the tree, and I'm going to press these by hand. There are lots of seeds in these lemons, but they're very, very good, and it's fresh lemon, so I don't complain about the fact that there's lots of seeds. I am grateful for receiving the fresh lemon. And then I've got some nice little green peppers from the garden, cucumbers from the garden, and I did save those seeds because they were mature enough to plant some more plants with that. Okay, so that's the cucumber from the garden. Carrots, lots of fresh, beautiful carrots. Lots of nice organic apples. We've got, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, isn't that sweet? It's a nice array of fresh things to make juice with today. Okay, so that's a big heaping pile of what I just mentioned to you. All mixed together. All cleaned and prepared. But I've got more. I have got more. Let me share that with you too. Just to give some context, you can see how big this container is, okay? Just to see some context for volume. It's a lot of vegetables and fruits, and that's for like one day of juicing for my husband and I. I do have some low-key squash from the garden. This is one of the varieties that we've grown here. Low-key squash. Okay, and these are good for juicing. They're very good for juicing. Okay. And if you get the ones that are quite mature, we have these different types of squashes, and if you carefully open them and let the outer shell dry, they make a very good birdhouse, and the birds love them. Actually, I have a few. I can show you some sometime. One of the neighbors here made loads of birdhouses with them. So, you know, some people like to paint them and then put them out for the birds, but I'm going to do the non-toxic birdhouse. I'm not going to paint them. I'm just going to let them dry, and I'll put them, rather than putting them out in a tree, we have a deck and some areas that are protected from the moisture of the rain, so the birds can simply settle in there. As it is, the birds every spring, they actually go into the light fixtures and on the deck, and they make their nests there. So they've already been arriving here every year to make their nests in the grapevines and in the trees around the property, as well as on the deck, so no troubles there, right? So here's the other stuff that I have for the juice. Okay. We've got a big clump of mint, and of course I do use all of the branches too in the juice, because that has lots of nutrition in that. It's not like there's any difficulty with using that. I'm using the Norwalk juicer, and that works out quite well. Got more of the lemons. See? More of the lemons. And we've got moringa from a moringa tree that we finally got growing here. So these are some moringa branches that I'm going to include with the juice today. Very, very nice. And then I've got some ginger leaf. Oh, yes. Got ginger leaf growing. Yes. Sometimes I use the turmeric leaf too in the juice, and that's very good. See, I just go pick it. It's just growing right over there. And then I've got, lots of beets. Okay, all different types of beets. This one's like a teardrop gem shape, isn't it? Like a teardrop gem shape. Isn't that really neat? Okay, so lots of beets. The beets are very, very important. I have found that my energy is better and I get excellent pain relief. Somebody's driving by with their music going. Okay. So, beets, excellent. And I've got quite a few of them because, as far as I'm concerned, these things are amazing in the juice. Okay. So this is the Loki on the inside. You see the Loki? It's very... And actually, I got some colored beet on there. Anyway, the outside of the peel of the Loki, I'm including it in this juice because that has a lot of, as far as I can tell, this plant has quite a bit of silica in it. Okay? And that's a good nutrient to have. I don't buy the supplements anymore because I can get things now that I'm, it's about over 10 years since I've been married to my husband, and he grows tons of stuff in the garden. So I've been using what I can from the garden. And I'm including the Loki with the peel into this. And of course, the Norwalk juicer is the 2-step juicer. It's going to shred this all into a pulp, and then that gets pressed in the second stage, and you get all 2,000 pounds of pressure that squeezes the vegetable matter, gets the liquid out, and that's what the nutrient extraction that is resulted in the juice is very good for rejuvenating the body, for reviving the body, for recovering the body from prior injury or illness. And everybody's had their share of that for the most part, although I did meet somebody that told me that he took really good care. His daughter is 17 years old. He never gave her any of the poison shots, never, not even one. And she's never been to a doctor in 17 years. Okay. And doesn't get sick like that. Okay, now, so I've got the beets. Oh, then I've also got some sprouted turmeric from our garden, and this is a little dry and shrivelly, like some people get when they don't feel well. They get dry and shrivelly, and that's where the juices do help too. So this turmeric is a little dry and shrivelly and sprouting, but that's fine. I don't need to go out and pick more just because the other turmeric is plump and fresh looking, because this is still filled with good stuff. Then I've got some ginger, of course. Ginger. People know about the ginger. I need to just trim the bottom there, but you see the ginger here. See the bottom, I need to just trim that off. I don't want that in the juice, and I'll just give that a little bit of a better rinse, and that's the ginger. Very good. And I've got, some banana peppers. Some banana peppers from the garden, just to add in there for good measure. Why the heck not, right? Okay, so I'm now going to head on in. See you soon. We'll have a change of location and keep going, because that's how our day goes here. Juice, juice, juice. Thanks for being here. So here I am back in the cuisine, in the kitchen, and I have set myself up to do the next stage of the juicing. And I'd like to be honest, I'm tired, and this does take a lot of energy, but I share, and I take the time to share and to do these videos because my life has been gradually, immensely shifted for the better by this daily practice. Now, when I don't do it, it shows on my face, with my demeanor. My body doesn't get that relief from the juices. Other people can go through their life and eat other stuff and get by, but I'm not one of those people. So, and I'm sure there's other people out there like me. I've seen them on the internet, and there isn't anything that you can buy at the store that can equate to what it is that when you do these things at home, and especially if you start growing things yourself from the garden, really you can't compare that. So it's always an endeavor to dream big and to think of the future, and how is it possible to incorporate these things into life, daily practice, and make it possible. And even if it's if it's a challenge, because it's always a challenge to get the produce and to make it happen. But it's worth it if you do it. And both my husband and I have benefited, and the people that we share with have benefited from these practices. And so here we are. I'm going to just show you the juicer. One second. This is the juicer that I'm using today. Okay, I have other juicers. In particular, I like to use a Green Star, what is it? The Green Star 5000, the Elite. But that one isn't here. That one is in Canada. And I'm in Florida now. So I have the Norwalk with me. And every machine in existence that I have ever utilized has pros and cons. And so does this one. Nonetheless, the juice is really divine. So I put the vegetables through here, and then through this little chute, you get the mashed puree. I have a little plate that I put in here, depending on what plants I'm putting through. If they're very woody and like things like celery, or things like the greens, then I'll use a plate that has larger bore gauge holes, so that there isn't like the resistance of the plants, to go through. I could show you. One second. So you see here, this is like a blade. So it's quite sharp on the sides, and that actually pulls off, and you can wash that, and then this chute goes on top of that. Listen, I'm not a professional video maker, so I just do things ad hoc. But this is the plate, and these are some of the inserts these are the two that I typically use, for the juicing. So this one I'll use for the carrot and apple, this gauge. And then if I have something that's very heavy like the greens, then I might just use this plate here. Okay. And even when I'm doing all the juicing and stuff, my hands and all the vegetables from the gardening, my hands get sort of stained with the vegetables. And I have a way to use some organic Castile soap and some hydrogen peroxide to clean the stains off the fingers. But I don't, when you're doing this, it's inevitable, if you're a gardener and if you're juicing a lot, that happens. Then I've got like a little mesh bag initially just to get the most of the liquid out of the puree so that it saves me some time with the pressing. Then I have these cloths. These are the ones that, I got with the Norwalk juicer. I have loads of them I ordered. And it's a special type of weave that's very tight. Very tight cotton, I think it was. And you put the vegetable matter, I put about a cup of vegetable matter. You fold up the cloth. Then you place it in here with a little plate, and that drips the juice out. So what I'll do is just get myself going here. I don't need to show the whole thing because it's like it just takes time, and it's the same process. But what I'll do is just give you a glimpse as to what it looks like. I'll do a pause and then show you. For people that haven't seen this before, it might be interesting for you. Okay, I'll be right back. So in the background here, you can see the vegetables that I have, and the fruits and the greens, and that's what's going to make up the totality of the juice. All of this is going to go through the chute and turn into a vegetable mash, a puree. Okay, very liquidy, and then I will, like I say, put it through the mesh bag. I was trying to think of the name. And then after that, I'll take the more dry puree as a next step and put that through the cloth so that most of the liquid will be extracted, and then the juice will be done. Okay. So now you can see here the bulk of the vegetable puree, and I'm going to go ahead and put that through the filter bag, and then I'm going to do the pressing through the cloth. So this is what it looks like at this stage, and this is filled with all the liquid in the pulp. Okay. So guess what? I had some cabbage, parsley, and moringa left over that I hadn't juiced, so I just went ahead and pressed that now. And I'm going to include that. I had that wrapped up in the fridge. So here's an example of one of the steps that I do to make things easier for me. You see the juice. So I won't bore you with all of that. I'm just going to get on with that, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so here is the preliminary juice that got squeezed out of the bag, and now I've got the rest of the bulk pureed vegetable matter that I'm going to put through the second phase of pressing. So this is the next stage. I have the juice cloths spread out on a chopping board here, wood board, and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. It's self-explanatory when you see it, right? Okay, here we go. There's the juice. Apparently that exerts 2,000 pounds of pressure, and the company recommends not leaving that for more than 10 seconds at a time at full pressure. And then when you actually pull the cloth out, you have your cloth that's left with a little dry patty, you see, of the vegetable matter that this I put into the compost bin. Okay, that's that. So have, excuse me. So here we have the watermelon juice, the remainder of what we have left from our watermelon juice today, just half a gallon and a little bit left. And this is the juice that I just prepared. That's the vegetable fruit juice that you saw me showing everything, and that's 1 gallon here plus a little bit, and that won't last long. But this is packed full of nutrition for my husband and I. So this is our prashad for the day. We're going to honor some of that. So there we go. Another day is reaching completion, and you can see the juicing cloths over there hanging and drying. I have them dripping into the sink. I've rinsed them very well with the well water. And I have the juice here, and I did get to save the cucumber seeds from the cucumber. So I'm very pleased about that. And yeah, that's it. So I for any juicing enthusiasts out there, I hope that there was something here that you appreciated, and I thank anybody that's joining in to view this. Thank you very much, and stay safe out there, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Okay, take care. Haribol. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurin Militamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Hare.